Thank you, Julia. Okay, so one of the most impactful learning moments for me was taking a workshop at MIT in 2014, which has tremendously influenced my thinking. I went to this class because it was taught by Dr. Stephen Spear, who I've mentioned so many times in years past. He is famous for many things, but he is probably most famous for writing the most widely downloaded Harvard Business Review article of all time, which he wrote in 1999 called Decoding the DNA of the Toyota Production System. This was based in part on his doctoral dissertation that he did at the Harvard Business School. And in support of that, he worked on the manufacturing plant floor of a tier one Toyota supplier for 16 months. Since then, he's extended his work beyond just high repetition manufacturing to engine design at Pratt & Whitney, the building of the safety culture at Alcoa, and also how we make safe healthcare systems. And recently, he was part of an initiative to build a learning dynamic across all aspects of the U.S. Navy enterprise. So for nearly a year, we've been talking 2 or 3 times per week, trying to see if we can codify what we've observed in our careers. Because there is this magic dynamic that is increasingly being used to unleash human creativity in so many different domains, whether it's harnessing the atom safely to sending a man to the moon and back, the Toyota production system, the Alcoa safety culture that we talk about in DevOps all the time, the story of team of teams, the generative organizations, as per Dr. Westrom, resilience engineering and learning from incidents, as described by Nora Jones yesterday, radical delegation, as per Admiral John Richardson, also described yesterday. And we are convinced that these are all parts of a larger whole. So just as there is a cohesive set of principles and practices around Taylorism and scientific management, and the 100-year-old practices of the Gantt chart, centralized planning and execution and command and control, there must be a set of cohesive practices that explains all the practice that we love so much here within the DevOps community. So here is Dr. Stephen Spear to talk about an amazing experience report of these principles and practices in a pharmaceutical development setting. Here's Steve.
Hey, Gene, thanks for that very flattering and erudite introduction. I'll pick the ball up with this one. Think about the situation we're trying to understand, which is we assemble all these experts with all this different specialization that they have, and we put them to work. And we think, oh, this is fantastic. Not only do we have this distributed intelligence, but we have this collective intelligence, and the yield out of the whole should be so much greater than the yield out of the individual parts. And then we look at this and it's like, oh my gosh, people are working so hard every day. Where's the beef? Where's the outcome of all of this? So anyway, what I want to do is share with you a case where people really tackled that problem to root cause and came up with some good explanation, which I think generalizes as to why we work so hard and get so little, and how to flip that so we work less hard and get a lot more. So here's the situation. This is a story about a bunch of very talented, very educated, well-meaning natural scientists, life scientists, biologists, chemists, computational biologists, and so forth. And what they're trying to do is develop therapeutics so that other people will feel better, live longer, do more. And just as quick background, developing a new therapeutic is a very, very expensive thing to do, and it takes a lot of time, almost sometimes a decade, and upwards of $1 billion. And if you think about the returns on this, it's an industry which has this tremendous winnowing from the ideas that get started in the pipeline at T = 0 down to the 1 or 2 that squeak out at the end. Now, obviously, that's a huge financial hurdle for the providers of therapeutics. Now, imagine the people who go into this line of work. They go to all this advanced education with the aspiration of doing something helpful that other people will appreciate in terms of therapies for disease. And if they start on something, it might be a decade till they get results, and they might not get results. Again, that winnowing thing. So anyway, this team of natural scientists asked the question, why does it take us so long, and why are our yields so low? And they looked upon this with a little bit of, not a little bit, a lot of envy, because in the hardware space, right, they've been bragging, for, 50, 60 years about Moore's Law, which is, oh, Gene, every 2 years, just hang on, we'll give you something even faster, even better, and it costs less money. In the pharmaceutical industry, they don't have Moore's Law, they have the reverse of that. They dubbed it Erum's Law. And the thing about Erum's Law is that it seems that for every therapeutic, it takes more and more time and more money to get to a result. And so this is kind of what's motivating this question of why are the pieces not coming together, or how do the pieces come together, or how can the pieces come together better so that we spend less money, less time, and get more yield. So anyway, for the purpose of our case, we're looking at a phase of drug discovery called hit to lead. Now, where this fits in is that there's a group of biologists primarily who do something called target selection. They figure out for a particular disease what protein seems to be the one that's misbehaving inside a cell that's causing the disease. And then that gets passed over to another group of people who try and figure out where can we attach onto that protein a compound, a molecule, which will get to the protein to behave differently than it otherwise is behaving. It behaves nicely rather than badly. And so that's called a hit. And if you want to think about what a hit is, what a hit is it's kind of like you have a plot and a basic floor plan. It's like, yeah, we'll put a building here and that'll add value to this plot of land. That's kind of what it is, where the protein in this picture is the orange and the void it's trying to fill in is the white. And the hit is kind of the rough sketch. It's that little purple blue thing. And the job of chemists and biologists in this phase called hit to lead is to develop that further. So they have a lead, which is actually worthy of being passed over to people who do something called lead development, that it just might have a chance of going into clinical trials. So that's the phase of the process that we're looking at here. Now, the way these scientists do their work is they go